Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Ladies, understand something. The top end of a woman's weight is 145 pounds. Okay. My mother's 5'9", and she was 145 pounds until she was 50. That's the top end of your weight, because there should be about a 40-pound difference between you and men.
Basically, if the guy is rich, what ends up happening is the lawyer contacts the person and be like, hey, you know, your name gonna be all in the paper, so you might as well just settle out of court.
I can recognize talent. Even if I don't agree with the politics, a lot of the politics that was underlying in the show and some of the sentiments he was trying to share, I recognize artistry when an artist is present.
Yes, this is the definition of absolutely cooked. We'll never go back and take a look at her bad decision and take accountability for any of that.
Because there is powerful people in the industry, somehow there is a different law that applies to them. And I agree with that assessment.
Yo. What's up? It's Thursday. You know what that means. Friday is right around the corner. Give yourself a round of applause. You made it. Glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. You made it for one more day. And it's a privilege and it's an honor to be here with you. I want to say thank you, not only just for getting through your week, but for being a part of the streams, a part of the conversations, for the likes, for the repost, for the feedback. Appreciate that from the bottom of my heart, man. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. So let me give my flowers to you. Let me give a shout out to my writers, my poets. You know how to get down. I got to make sure I show love. We got some things to discuss tonight, as per usual, which should be interesting. I have a video that I'm going to play here. I think we'll just start with that video first. And then we'll get into the main topic. I got Jason in the building. I'm going to bring him up. Do me a solid. Let the people know that we are on. Have comments, concerns, questions, any ideas for future shows, any feedback, email me, shoot me a DM, and we'll bring it to the panel. Also, if you ever just want to just shoot me an email, let's set something up. Equal opportunity, everybody's voices matter, and hopefully I can continue to facilitate that movement. But let's go ahead and bring Jason up. Y'all show him some love. It's good to see you back on the show, sir. Let's talk. What's the word?
How are you today? I'm actually right now in the basement. My stepson, he's home, so he's occupying his room, which is also the office. So
Right,
everybody else, everywhere in the house.
I see.
Yeah.
We got some. All right.
I got booted. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so
Gotcha. I got
kids
you.
are home from school, so things are a little bit chaotic. Got to adapt. Adaptivity is the name of the game, so that's what we do. And yeah, let's just get to it.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna play this video. It doesn't have anything to do with the subject at matter, but someone actually did a reaction to it earlier, and I was pretty impressed by the response that was basically given on it. So I figured, why not break it down ourselves from our own perspectives? Maybe we could come up with something that's a little different, but similar. It's a little over a minute. Let me see. Where is it? Minute 35. Shout out to TikTok. You never let me down. I'll play this all the way through. We'll chop it up. Go from there. Anybody have any comments based on the video? Feel free to leave your thoughts up there. And yeah.
When she's getting dressed. I'm in one of those are we dating the same guy groups, and this past weekend a man was posted on here, and this girl was like, is anybody seeing him, because I've been seeing him and I really like him, whatever. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of comments, and at least 7, I counted, I got tired of counting because I was disgusted, at least 7 women in those comments were like, I've been sleeping with him with no protection, like consistently. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? And they're not saying like we're in a relationship, we're dating, we're talking. No, they're just like, we've just been seeing each other, we've just been sleeping together. That's fine. That's not my thing. But if that's your thing, that's cool. But why are we not using protection? Why are we not using protection? And one of the girls was like, oh, he the type that won't do it if you make him use protection. Like, he won't do it at all. Girl, then don't do it. What is wrong with y'all? What are we doing? I'm so serious. What are y'all doing? You need to get your rocks off. Cool, girl. Get it how you live. But at the very least, you guys, you can't be out here moving like this. All of y'all need to go get tested. Every single one of you. And to make it worse, the girl who posted the original post says she's going to keep seeing him. She's not going to stop. She's not done with him. None of that swayed her. I said, what's the point of us having this group if when y'all find out information about the man that you're seeing, you're not going to leave him? Why are we even here? What is the point? We might
as yeah.
Where do we go? Where do we start?
Just to give y'all some context, right? Yeah. Just to give y'all some quick context, this lady, she joined a group. I guess this group was supposed to help each other discover whether or not they were dealing with the same guy or whatever the case may be. And this was supposed to not only expose the guy or guys, but it's supposed to help them hold each other accountable. But based on this video, well, like she said, it didn't really seem like there was much point to having the group. So just a little extra feedback from that. I don't even know where you want to go with this first, but I'll let you kick it off.
there's so many thoughts I have. And I don't know which one I want to talk about first because they just keep on competing. Like on one hand, it's like, okay, well, this tracks, yep. And what I mean by that is it's not even about the idea of hypergamy, because who knows what this guy's status is. No, I mean that wasn't even put into the context, so we don't even have to talk about that. My initial thought is that this is who wants to act like men. This is what we have of people wanting to act like men, and then they go and do this. It doesn't compute. It's completely turned around. A lot of that has to do with a bunch of things that I've experienced or that I've witnessed or whatnot. So I kind of got that on my brain, but also like yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to go with this, man. This is just like it's one of those things you look at as like, damn, okay, that happened.
Right. All right. So here's my thing. Let's address the group chat, the room that is designed to get women together who have gone through emotional traumas. They've probably been played by the same type of person. Maybe it's supposed to be a support group. Maybe it's supposed to be them uplifting each other. Maybe it's a combination of all of it. I want to give the benefit of the doubt and say these women are here because they want to see the other one in a better position than they were before. I want to believe that they are there to give sisterly advice, that they want to hold each other accountable, that they want to ensure that injustices don't continue on the patterns that they have contributed to their own personal lives, dealing with a certain archetype of guy. Let's just make the argument hypothetically saying that they're really just there to be better women overall. Well, I didn't see any indications of it. I see, based on what I heard, there are hundreds of these women under the same umbrella who are either complaining about the type of relationships they're in, or they are trying to find out if their guy is being faithful, or it's something that is negative, has nothing to do with building business. I didn't hear anything about spirituality. I didn't hear anything about philosophy. I want to know if you're fucking with my guy, or if I'm messing with the same guy, or something to that effect. And for the purpose of what the overall room was supposed to represent to me, I didn't see that. I see people who are, like you said, trying to be masculine, or trying to step into roles that weren't biologically designed for them, finding themselves in a repetitive cycle of, oh, I can't believe this is happening to me. Oh, well, I'm still going to put up with it anyway. I'm going to deal with it anyway. I'm the better choice. Person is doing this, or this person is doing that. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to fight for what I want, because I am the alpha woman in all of this. Doesn't really matter how many times he stepped out. Doesn't really matter about the sisterhood. even as much as we want to say that it's about the sisterhood. They sleeping with this dude with no condoms. Everybody's going unprotected, and it's like, what did I just walk into? I know there's different things there that I touch. My real concern is that how is this a group chat for women who are supposed to be unified and independent, and they think for themselves and they don't take control or orders from men and this, that, and the third. How is this a group chat when y'all basically saying, okay, we all have something in common. We're all going after the same guy. I yield the mic.
So the one thing that this proves is that whole theory is complete bullshit. The whole idea that women are going to have claim over what's theirs, that doesn't exist, and this group chat proves that. There's no such thing as that. There's no such thing as territorial markers for women, and that sounds really sexist, I know, but you know what? If you follow the logic, you have to come to the same conclusion. Because here you have a group of women. Women by nature are communal creatures. They create little groups in order to nest. Is the proper term for it. It's called nesting. It's the desire to create a culture where procreation and nurturing, cultivation, and development are going to be most likely. It's a natural biological thing. Women nest. This is a truth. And this has been the same truth for the past 300,000 years. I don't know what people think that they are thinking when they believe that they can actually change humanity overnight. By overnight, I mean like the last 10 years, when there is 300 millennia of proof that shows the conditioning that human beings have gone through for survival, of course, but how that survival has actually gone to shape cultures and societies and ways of living, and how that's not going to change, at least not quickly, nor is it supposed to. So you've got a class of people. Sorry, class sounds pretty vulgar. A type of people who nest. Women nest. We've covered that. So if they are nesting, they're not necessarily laying claim. What they're doing is they are making preparations. You can't lay claim and make preparations at the same time. They're two totally completely different skills. So if a person is going to be nesting, they're not going to be laying claim. And this just proves it, because at least 7 women said they were screwing the same guy. Sorry, 8 women said they were screwing the same guy, because if you count the original poster. And all of them said that they weren't wearing protection. All of them said that they were going to keep on sleeping with the guy. They weren't going to change anything. So all the things that we've seen in movies, all the things that we've seen in media that have to do with the whole women uprising, it doesn't exist. It's a myth. And thank you very much for reality proving that the fantasy is a fantasy. So it kind of, that part makes me laugh, because women coming together saying that they're going to do something that is going to be really bold and innovative and visionary, they get together and this is what you get. It invariably reduces down to this every single freaking time. 100% of the time, it's going to devolve into the exact same thing. Women nest. It is a biological imperative, and they don't even realize they're doing it until they've gotten so far into it that they don't want to change, because change is hard, and change means being uncomfortable. And people don't like being uncomfortable, especially if they've been doing something that, feels somewhat right, even though they might not know why. So yeah, this is like laughable. This is why we have Let me back up. This is a required part of the human condition. This is a good thing for humanity. What's not good is when people do this, then they try to convince others that they don't do this, and try to convince others that they're supposed to be doing something else. Well, you're not gonna. And this kind of just proves it. A group of women come together, they're going to do what women do. And then when a man comes along and then they're like, well, let's talk about these guys. Surely they're going to talk about them, but they're not going to talk about them in a way of being the same way that men talk about women. If a woman is stepping out and cheating on another guy, men have very different reactions to that. And I'm sure that I know this for an absolute fact because I've been on both sides of this, and I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about as well, Mel. Men have very different reactions to this than women do, and men are going to respond in a much more active way. They're going to be the ones to actually confront the other guy and say, "Don't mess with my girl." But consider all throughout history, the different kingdoms that have had harems, groups of women that have been under the rule of a sultan, who have willingly put themselves in a position where they are submissive to that sultan, that they do whatever he says, and yes, they all are having sex with him. Many of them have kids, and they don't care. They keep on doing it. Well, this is really not much different. I yield the mic.
I was just about to say, bro, we are looking at the modern harem. This is absolutely that. The only difference is y'all trying to make it look like it's something else, but we know what it is, and I get it. It looks bad on your part. I mean, you're the one that's getting the pipe laid to you 1 minute and then they go on to somebody else. It would make you feel a certain way. I understand, but in the same breath, I see the independent, I don't need a man conversations. I see the we hold each other accountable conversations. I see the we gotta say kill all men off. We're better without them. I've heard all of it, and then it's like you see a story like this, and then it just brings you back to earth. It's like, come on, man, y'all just be saying shit just to be saying it.
It's all talk.
One, yeah. For every
it's just all
one
talk.
logical. For every one logical woman that y'all call pick me, there's 5 more who are just like these women in this group chat.
You know what kills me? The fact that all of these movies and all of this propaganda that is meant to glorify women and reinforce the idea that women don't need men, why are they doing so horribly? Why are they bombing at the box office? Like serious. The last movie that I saw, it was more of a DEI thing, but it was remember Snow White, the modern adaptation of Snow White.
They absolutely bomb. Yeah,
the Snow Brown and the 7 CGIs. Yeah, it was absolute trash. I mean, it got so bad ratings, it didn't even last a week in the box office. But then we also have other movies like the new the new Predator movie called Prey. How the protagonist is a woman. It's like okay, and some of the things that she's doing, and some of the ways in which women are portrayed, especially in regards to men. And anyone who knows anything about biology, about combat, about movement, and about physiology knows that the things that they're portraying are absolutely impossible. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. It just takes someone who understands that this is not going to happen. And the whole, I love, honestly, I love where things are going, because we're seeing a reset, a coming back to the natural order of things, and how this propaganda is absolutely losing, and it's beginning to be recognized more thoroughly that no, women cannot do everything that men can do. Men absolutely cannot do everything that women can do. Men and women have very specific roles, and they are great at the roles they do. And these roles are naturally created. These are biological roles. And when men and women both stay in their lane and they cooperate like they're supposed to, then you have these situations where life prospers. People are happy. Imagine that. Things work well. Imagine that. But when you have this whole idea that we have to be against each other and men and women have to compete against each other, it's like, bro, you are so dumb. And this whole idea is just so stupid. Anyway, I yield the mic.
It would be one thing if you found out that your man was fucking with 5 other people, and then you said, all right, I'm not about to do that. I'm stepping off. I'm about to deal with one guy that has all the qualities that would create a household where it's a 2-parent infrastructure of raising children in a healthy dynamic. You're not about to make me a part of this stigma or this stereotype where all of these women are just going to accept being treated like a piece of meat. And I'm just, no, that's not going to happen. I'm woman, hear me roar. I have principles. I'm a woman of God. I will have my husband. I will be a wife because of the characteristics that I portray, because of what I was brought up to believe, how I was taught by my mother and my father, how I was raised in general, will not allow me to be a part of a orgy. It's just not going to happen. So, but for you to talk like you got all this going on, but you still willing to deal with that type of situation, I can't eat that. And a lot of dudes are not going to eat that. And go back to something that you had said, the conversations like in a group setting with men versus women having these, yes, they would absolutely be different. A lot different. I don't think a lot of women would be able to handle honesty or the level of logic that would be put on the table based on how you carry yourself, what they really see in you, not what people lie to you about, but what they actually see in you, what you portray to the world, your character, your personality, your walk, how you dress, how you interact with your family, how you interact with your friends, and what you do on social media and all. The level of conversation difference would absolutely destroy a lot of your egos, and then that would absolutely reset your miserable brains for sure. And it's not a bad thing. I don't think that men in this group setting, if you put women in that, they wouldn't be able to handle it. They would absolutely all.
It'd be absolutely different.
Royal Rumble. Yeah,
it'd be absolutely different. The way in which the group is run. I mean, again, a lot of the things that I say on the surface, if you want it to sound that way, can sound absolutely sexist, but it's not. It's based on behavior. So you can tell that this group is run by women for women because of the way that there's no direction. It is just a collection of women that are just coming together and feeding each other bullshit and probably getting out false compliments, and then and then when people have these kinds of conversations talking about men, I mean, girls are gonna do what girls are gonna do. They're gonna talk about boys. And like I said, you can tell that this is a group by women for women. If there was a man running the group, it would actually have purpose, and then women would actually do something with this group that actually has meaning. But that's because men know how to lead. They know how to create a vision and how to achieve a shared goal. This is the powerful thing about men. Women know how to create something worth that makes that vision worth living. And there lies the powerful difference. And it's necessary. Both things are necessary. You can't have a woman actually do what a man does very well. Men will always do it better. Likewise, getting a man to do what a woman does is going to be hell, because he's not going to do it as well as a woman will, ever. He's going to constantly fall short, because that's not what he was designed to do. And it's this group. It just shows like, okay, well, yeah, that's why I said initially, yeah, that tracks, because being a person who understands behavior from both men and women, it's human behavior, and understanding that male behavior is more expressive, female behavior is more receptive, and what that looks like. You understand that, and you've basically cracked the code of human behavior. And when I look at this kind of group, it's like, yeah, this is what women do. This is women-based human behavior, and that's fine. But when you start bashing it, saying, no, you're not supposed to do this, it's like, really? You're telling women that they're not supposed to do what they naturally do? That's the person that is just absolutely freaking delusional. I yield the mic.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And this is something that has been brought up a lot too. If the man is not the leader within that space between him and the other person, it is going to fail. And the reason why it's going to fail is because there are things that it makes it difficult when you have your counterpart consistently being rebellious against the person that they're supposed to trust the most. Me as a guy, if I'm trying or in a position to guide you, talk to you about why you shouldn't do or say certain things in certain situations, you are supposed to understand or at least trust me to make sure that I'm keeping you out of harm's way. However, it doesn't turn out that way. It looks as if I'm trying to control you and I'm trying to change you into something that you're not. And the misconception is so sad that you would think that first of all, the guy, you're opening your legs to him, so you're supposed to have some level of trust for him. If you don't trust him, why are you opening your legs to him in the first place? But secondly, for whatever purpose that group chat was, this should be an example of you can't believe everything that you hear. A lot of women will say one thing and they really mean something else. And that's why it's like, how the hell can you say, and I know I'm all over the place, but how can you say you are emotionally more intelligent than the guy is when you can't patterns. You know that they're irregular. You know that you're up and down with your highs and lows. You know damn well. And you talk about being honest. You would absolutely not be able to handle the honest truth. The honest truth is y'all were in this group chat to find out about who everybody was sleeping with. You're not wearing protection. You just let. She said, "Oh, he's not going to let you. He's going to sleep with you if you got to wear a condom." Still, just go into that. No protection, nothing. Y'all just, and I don't understand how we have such an issue with the dynamics between the roles of men and the roles of women. If I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have had a clip of a men's conversation within like this space versus this one right here. It would have been completely different. Completely different. You would have heard the rawness of it. This lady's like, what's the point? What was the point of even doing this? We might as well just dismantle this whole thing. Because at the end of the day, y'all still going to do what y'all want regardless. Nothing's going to change from it. And I'm not getting nothing from it. And it go back to what you said earlier. There's no direction. There's no vision. It just seemed more or less like a place to complain, to gossip, to get information. And I don't know, that shit was just all that was messy. All of it.
Well, again, women doing what women do. And that one person who is judging the group, I mean, fine, leave the group, but don't say that it should be something when you have no idea what it's supposed to be. Did you create the group? No. So you don't get to say that. What you do get to say is this group is not for me, and then bounce. And if that's the case, fine. It's not for you. I mean, not everything is for everyone. There's gonna be some things that you don't agree with and that you have to just bounce out of. And that doesn't give you the right to assert yourself, believing that you are the ultimate authority for how things are supposed to be. That's called hubris. And hubris is the greatest it is the greatest thing to cause human beings to fail. Great pride before the fall, as they say. And hubris is the greatest expression of pride. The idea that you should be recognized for how good you think you are. Man, fuck you. No one cares about you. The only person who cares about you is yourself. And even then, that's probably not true. But to your comment before about women saying that they have more emotional intelligence, they really don't. They have more compassion in certain situations, especially nurturing compassion. But a compassion is not emotional intelligence. Compassion comes from resilience. And the more resilient you are, the more compassion you can be, the more patience you have, the more grace you have for others. But emotional intelligence has to do with the ability to understand the emotions at play, yours and others, and the ability to work within them. And I don't see women being able to do that very well at all. I yield the mic.
My final thoughts on that video before I segue over to the other topic, the main one. You do what you want with your group chats, who you want to get involved with and bring in. Some of them are for entertainment purposes. Some of them are meant to be serious. My pushback is looking at all of the variances out here. You have one side that don't need men. You have another side who absolutely needs them. And then you have the side who does everything in their power to try to destroy any opportunity or chances of reconciliation between the two genders by using their platforms to try to give you the impression that doing certain things based on history, what worked, you're trying to dismantle it in increments so that women get turned off by the idea of doing anything nice for their guy. And then you see a chat like this, and the information and the conversations that are initiated in here only show me that the level of maturity is non-void, or their understanding of how impactful it is to hold people to a certain degree of standard is very lacking. To even suggest that you should be able to just share somebody, be, what's the word? You're not really happy about the situation, but you're accepting of it. You don't want to be a side chick. You don't want to be a part of that. But because of the guy, and I'm just speaking in general, because of the type of guy that it is, you're willing to deal with it, but you're going to act as if on the outside you don't move like that. But here it clearly shows that you do move like that. So when you got people who are being hypocritical of their lifestyle, that is a huge problem. Don't get here and act like you all high and mighty, and then you're over here getting ran through more than Thomas the Train. And the fact that the women that are in these type of discussions don't see nothing wrong with it, and they're just sitting up here, yes, girl, yes, girl, yes, yes, and y'all really be up here crashing out fighting over the same dude. The dude don't care. The dude ain't thinking about you getting into with this person, other than the fact that you might stop them from being able to clap them cheeks over there. But outside of that, he doesn't care about that, because he doesn't look at you the way that you look at him. Most men who have this type of option, they're not looking at you with the type of respect that you think they are. But those aren't the conversations that I'm noticing that's being had in these type of group chats. So, I mean, my personal opinion or not, I think some of them are useless, especially with the ones where you can't be told anything. Everything is a echo chamber of, well, we all believe in this. This is how we operate. If you don't want to be a part of that, get the hell out of our group. And like you said, that's perfectly fine. Nasty work, though. Nasty work. But I wanted to transition to Hollywood kids being spoiled, being reckless, being taught horribly. Their lives get destroyed, get distorted. They don't know how to make friends. They don't know how to be sociable. They don't understand the honest dollar. They don't understand how it is to be a regular person. Do you think that these movie stars and these famous actors and musicians are ruining their children.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I think that anybody who raises their kids with money, who don't have morals and values, are inevitable to ruin their children. This has been proven time and time again. And A-listers just have more access to more money, but they're just as stupid as everyone else. Sometimes even more so. So they raise their kids to be absolute fucking idiots. And this is what they get. They get children who have no respect for others, who believe that they're entitled to everything, until they meet that one person who gives zero shits about what you think and throws you through a window. Which I think is funny as hell.
If I'm not mistaken, months ago, we kind of touched on it a little bit. And if I'm not mistaken, one thing that I remember saying was, when you give your children every device that they have, when they're used to getting up and getting on airplanes, they're on a strict routine, they got maids and they got babysitters and they got people who pick them up and drop them off from school and home, and when they get their homework done, they're not getting their homework done with the actual parent. When they go out to restaurants, they're not eating regular food. They're always eating $2,000 meals and all this stuff. What you're really doing is desensitizing them to the realities of the world and what it really reflects.
No, that isn't the
They don't.
problem. The problem is not the lifestyle. It is the lack of appreciation. It is the lack of gratitude. It is the expectation and the entitlement. And then the belief that because they have this, they're better than others. This is the problem. You have access to the finer things, that's fine. But it's the attitude in which you approach it that is the problem.
That's huge. That's absolutely a fact. And what I was getting at, how do you expect anybody who is accustomed to a specific lifestyle to really grasp what it's like to work 9 to 5? How do you expect them to be in a relationship with anybody? All they're used to is getting their way, giving out orders. One of the people that I thought would have been somebody like superstar, Joel Osment. I hope I'm saying his name right. The little kid from The Sixth Sense. I thought right now in 2025, I thought he would have been way bigger in life than he is. But the fact of the matter is, he ended up being an alcoholic, and he just got arrested. I don't know what happened. I don't know where things went wrong with him.
That's
And I don't
a story
know
of a different
if a
variety.
lot of these people really understand what they're doing. What kind of conversations are you having with them? Are you talking about the birds and the bees? Are you talking about uh
Did you want me to continue?
Yeah, but still, even then, I still say like the parents still has some type of part in that though, because there's no way in the world you go from being that little kid to someone who is overweight, out of shape. He looked like he's just completely defeated. He done broke ties with Steven Spielberg. That was his one contact to get him back in Hollywood. Now he can't go back over there because of some slurs that he made towards. I don't know. I just
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Emotional trauma, while it can start at home, doesn't always start at home. It is so much. People don't understand how pervasive and how damaging the breach of trust can be between an adult and a child. And that is, it is so damaging. Not enough people know what they're talking about when they pass judgments like this, or when they think that they're going to become an armchair psychologist and talk about this shit, because they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Because the kind of things that can go on, I'm not going to say too much because there's not enough verified proof, but if you followed a lot of the scandals that come out of Hollywood, you can probably put two and two together. And the kind of things that go on there are just absolutely depraved in some ways. And I'm sure it's no surprise that I'm pretty sure that Spielberg, if it hasn't been talked about already, it's going to come out that he is a part of it, that he's a part of that depravity. He's been a part of it since even before E.T., which means that what's her face? Forget her name, but yeah, it's been going on for decades. The kind of thing that I'm talking about, and that messes with a person. It messes with a person bad, and you can't talk about this kind of thing with other people. There's so much shame that is involved. This is why Brene Brown talks about why shame is one of the biggest destroyers of human potential. Shame, guilt, and fear. The three biggest things, what I call saboteurs, that keep people from being able to become who they're supposed to be. And regardless of how things are at home, if you are infected by this, the social stigma of shame in some way, I don't care what kind of family you have, your life is going to change. And unless you've got a way of being able to cope with it, move past it, it's going to stick with you for the rest of your damn life. And he's figuring that out. He's acting the way he's acting because he is riddled. I can only imagine the amount of shame and guilt that he experiences, and regret, as well as resentment and all the host of emotions, worthlessness, hopelessness, just the concoction of things that he's experiencing that would lead him to the life that he is living right now. It is heartbreaking. At the same time, someone who understands behavior, someone who understands psychology, it's like, well, this is what happens when you expose a child to this kind of betrayal, emotional betrayal. This is what you get. I yield the mic.
Yeah, that was a whole nother road that I was trying to stay away from. Even though I tell you, I'm one of the first people that will tell you Hollywood is fucked up. The shit that go on behind them closed doors. I've said it before. I say it again. It done screwed up a lot of people's life. A lot of people's life. And that is where I'm. If to be honest, I don't want my children in Hollywood. I don't want them nowhere near the music industry. None of that. Go be a scientist. Go be a marine biologist. Get a paper route. I don't want none of my loved ones in that field of work. Unless for some reason you can work for yourself and you're not under anyone else. I wouldn't want that for nobody. Because people like Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, just naming a few people. Like, I know they've seen stuff, all of them, and they have stories. Most of them probably took it to the grave. You'll never hear about half of the or a fraction of it. That's another these Hollywood kids being raised up the way that they are. But it's not my business. You can do whatever you choose to do with your children, but I wish I could actually have a conversation with one person from any of those spaces, and they would tell me everything that was going on. I know that's not going to happen. That's grasping at straws. But I would just like to peek inside the mind of the people who experience some of this stuff. You can't unsee what you saw. You can't erase those feelings and those emotions. And I bet you don't look at people the same anymore either. Yeah.
Yeah, Jenny knows what we're talking about. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, this has been fun. My takeaway for this and for the previous for the previous segment, people are stupid, and we've seen this time and time again. It's great to be reminded just how stupid some people are. As far as this one, there's a bunch of things that cause kids to act dumb. Some of it is they're acting out because of the way that they've been treated. Others are because there is no gratitude and appreciation for what they have, and a huge amount of entitlement. And in both cases, they both lead to the same road, which is major disappointment in life, and complications that are hard to live down.
Final thoughts. Ladies, you have to understand that men are not dumb. We do dumb things, and we do waste a lot of our resources in places that we should. But when it comes to the dating pool, even the most simplistic person with any common sense, if they saw that group chat or heard that conversation, they would pick you apart. None of you would ever be taken serious. You'll be in the same category as the guy has you in. Anyone outside looking in, they're going to look at this like, oh, this is my next victim. I can't take them serious. I can't do nothing with them other than have fun with them. Why? Because you just made it perfectly clear without even knowing that you're telling on yourself that you are willing to go the extra mile for the right price. And it also shows that women aren't as united as they say they are, while also spewing out a bunch of nonsense that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. As far as Hollywood children, I expect more cases to come out. I expect more people to be speaking sooner or later, especially this year, about some of the stuff that they've seen. Orlando Brown hasn't been the same. That's So Raven Simone hasn't been the same. It's a lot of Hollywood stars that we don't even see no more. Kids from Nickelodeon, just off the face of the planet. But these Hollywood stars, man, y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
They're too busy.
When I say that, I mean it's like
they're too busy spending money and looking good to be ashamed.
they're too busy. What? Yeah. I was gonna say, I get wanting to give if you really want to give your kids the best life, there has to be a balance. You have to give them a better life without robbing them of it too. And I think it's a part of the problem. But I digress. Shout outs to Jenny and everybody who pulled up for the stream tonight. As always, it's good to have you on. It's good to be able to kick it with the peoples.
Jenny,
I
love the
don't know
comments.
what tomorrow
Fantastic.
is going to be. We may not have an open mic tomorrow, so I'm going to have to improvise. It might. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Jenny, love the comments. Thank you so much for showing up. This has been really good.
Oh yeah. Always appreciate the interactions with the peoples, man. I love it actually. I welcome it. So I'm glad you could join us because I know you had some technical issues earlier, but glad you can make it out. I will be back tomorrow. Who knows what the topic is going to be, but best believe it's going to be one to close this weekend out, or this week, I should say. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night, man. Friday around the corner. Drive safe. Don't let nobody stress y'all out. It's not that serious, all right? But we about to get up out of here, man. Do me a solid. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you got the bell on so you can keep up with us when we go live. You might miss us on every other platform, but YouTube, it'll let you know we here. And yeah, that's pretty much that. See y'all tomorrow. Be easy.